Hey everybody, welcome back to Isolation Libations. This is episode number 39. It's Thursday night. I am Joey Joyce, I'm your bartender. Every weeknight we make cocktails to pair along with the music of Brian Chartrand's Happy Half Hour on Facebook.com/Brian Chartrand Music. Now tonight he has a night off again, but it's okay because he's playing for the medical staff at Banner Health out there in Arizona, so we give him a pass. However, this is episode 39. I believe he's sitting there at about 41 episodes. So again, Brian, footsteps, I'm coming for you. I'm going to have as many episodes as you've done. And then again, I don't know what we're going to do after that. Nothing, just continue on making videos, music, cocktails, whatever. But anyway, since he's off tonight, I have carte blanche. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to pair it up to a song. I don't have to do anything. I'm just gonna make something that I wanna make. And so tonight I thought I would throw it back to a cocktail that my friend made back at the Chin Chin Bar in Chinatown in Honolulu, Hawaii. So my former coworker, Jordan Tantog, good dude, big goofy dude. I love you, Jordan. He made this cocktail, and it's called Aggravatin Papa. It's named after a Bessie Smith song. Bessie Smith, better known as Empress of the Blues. And this is a cool mezcal cocktail that he came up with back in 2017. And I am making a riff off of it. So this is the Aggravatin Papa number 2. I like that kind of history of like number 2s and number 3s and different versions of cocktails. It's kind of a fun way. It still pays homage to the original, but then does create a new cocktail too. I would have made probably just the regular Aggravatin Papa, but I don't have Amontillado sherry, which it calls for. So, I figure, well, if I'm changing one ingredient, might as well change a couple more and just make a little riff off of it. But to Jordan's credit, I think if a cocktail can stand up on its own and then also kind of spawn other versions, that's a sign of a very good cocktail. That means at its core, it's a very solid cocktail, well balanced, and you can just kind of pop in and out little things here and kind of make it your own and kind of create new versions. So good job, Jordan. So as you can see, there's a few ingredients in this drink. This is a perfect example of a drink that if this was in an actual bar setting, we would batch this cocktail. Batching is basically, all you're doing is multiplying the recipe to a very large amount, putting it in a big Cambro, a big bucket, and then pouring it into bottles, having it all pre-mixed already. So, you might pour it into this bottle, and then instead of having to do all these little small amounts, you just pour out 3 ounces, stir it, and go. And that is key at a place like the Chin Chin Bar that gets crazy busy on the weekends. And, when you're like 5 people deep and you're trying to make each of these one at a time, and you're pouring out little quarter ounce, and stir, and then make another one, your head would explode. It's too much. It's annoying. And I really think that batching certain cocktails really improves the cocktail. Think of like spaghetti sauce or soup or chili, things that usually taste better a couple days later, or if you pop it in the freezer and then take it out and warm it up later. It gives a chance for the flavors to kind of meld, kind of come together, kind of round out the edges, and just becomes more harmonious. And I've found that with a lot of cocktails that I've batched. I like them better batched. So I would do that. But that would be very boring if I just did a video and just poured out 3 ounces, stirred, there you go, there's your drink. So we're gonna do it step by step. And also, I'm pretty much serving 1, maybe 2 people if my stepdad has a drink. So I don't need to batch it. So anyway, let's get this drink started. So the original calls for Peychaud bitters. I'm kind of switching that out and doing an absinthe rinse of the glass instead of the Peychauds. There are some kind of similar flavor notes in there, but I'm also adding Angostura bitters. I'm going to do small one. I say 1 dash. It's probably gonna be 2 that comes out, to be honest, but it's like 1 in a dribble. I just like kind of the cinnamon-ish spice notes in there with anything tequila, mezcal. It always just tastes nice to me. So that's what I did. So in Jordan's original cocktail, I believe it calls for half ounce Amontillado sherry. I don't have it, like I said. So I'm kind of taking the place of the sherry with Rainwater Madeira and Dolan Dry Vermouth combo. So the Rainwater Madeira has some of that oxidized, nutty flavors that you would get from the sherry, but it is a little bit sweeter. The Dolan Dry, right? It's going to dry it out a little bit, kind of balance out the sweetness from here. And again, add some other interesting kind of herbal, winey notes there too that you might get in the sherry, but it's not a exact substitution, but why would you want it exact if you're making a different version of the cocktail? So these are a lot of small amounts. I'm just going to go quarter ounce of the Dolan Dry Vermouth. And then the same thing with the Rainwater Madeira. That's the second time this week I've used Rainwater Madeira. I think I mentioned earlier, if I convinced anyone to buy some of this, I told you I'd make more cocktails with it, so it would not be a purchase wasted. And you can drink it by itself. It's delicious. Love Madeira, love vermouth, love Madeira. Just do it, man. All right, yellow chartreuse. Again, you could do it with green chartreuse. It's just going to be a bolder, more assertive flavor. Chartreuse can be a bully. You know, it can kind of take over everything. That's why the yellow chartreuse is nice in this cocktail with some kind of lighter flavors. But again, use what you have on hand. You might need to adjust the proportions of everything else. And it is a small amount. It's only 1/4 ounce of the yellow chartreuse. Again, second time this week I've used yellow chartreuse. So, you know, if you go out and buy these bottles and make the cocktails I'm making, you're going to use them. They will be used. Now, Coqui Americano, you could use the Le Blanc if you have that, but I do like Coqui better. And we'll go 1/2 ounce. So again, aromatized and fortified white wine aperitif. You got that? There'll be a test later. Again, almost like an amped up vermouth. A little bit more sugar, more bold herbal flavors, but still subtle, but very nice. Again, another one you can drink by itself. Now, in the original Aggravatin Papa, Jordan did 2 ounces of mezcal. I've got a thing with mezcal. I think of people who have mixed feelings on like cilantro or something. It's a flavor. If it's in something, a lot of times that's all I can taste, and I don't taste anything else, and it's just a little bit too bold for me sometimes. That's why I like mezcal by itself when it's not competing with anything. But in cocktails, for me, if there's more than like an ounce of mezcal, a lot of times it's not balanced, but that's just my palate. I'm not saying that that's right for everybody, just for me. So whenever I do mezcal drinks, I typically half it with tequila. For myself, that becomes a more harmonious flavor with a balance of just, you know, like an unsmoked agave versus the smokiness of a mezcal. So that's what I'm doing, because it's my drink. So 1 ounce of a silver tequila, using this Olmeca Altos, which is very nice. I like it. It's a good price, tastes good. They actually sponsored me for a little, man, when was that? That was a long time ago. It was a fundraiser for the Hawaiian Humane Society. I made a Perros de Barrio Chino, the Dogs of Chinatown cocktail with that. So that was the first time I had it, and I dig it. Now it has sentimental value. Okay, now the illegal mezcal. Again, we've used this before. I'm digging it. It's really good stuff. And 1 ounce as well. And then we're gonna add, we already have our glass out. You could use a coupe, you can use a martini glass. I've got this guy, kind of martini. I dig it, it's a groovy glass. And then just ice in your shaker, or not shaker, mixing copper tin or mixing glass, whatever you have. Give it a stir. Again, a reminder, this will be served up, So you want to stir it to the dilution point that you want, because it will not dilute any further than where it's at now when you pour it out. You can feel the mixing glass, feel it get nice and cold. Probably good. And then again, absinthe rinse. You could pour a little bit absinthe in the glass, swirl it around, toss it out. I don't like to waste absinthe, so you put it in a little atomizer, a little sprayer, and you just coat the glass. Actually gives you really good coverage without wasting any. Then you get to do this, which is always fun. And then we're just gonna strain. Very nice kind of golden color. Now this calls for a grapefruit swath. I'd say anytime you have citrus at home, just start peeling it before you either like eat it or juice it. And you know, if you use the peel, you should use it within like a day or two. I'm probably not gonna make this many cocktails with grapefruit peels right now, but you know, at least you have them if you want to make a cocktail that calls for them. Well, it's a very juicy peel. And then, again, always wipe that rim, spread the oil around. I am gonna do a really super simple garnish that looks kind of cool. So I'm just cutting off the edges, make it nice and straight, and then cut the ends at an angle. Okay, super simple. And then you make a little slit in the middle, just part way through. So see, there's like little split right there, and you can kind of squeeze it, and then you can put it right on the rim, and it's cool. I mean, it's a little bit of something. I'm not a garnish guy. I don't get fancy, but you know, you can do a little something fancy. So cheers. There's your Aggravatin Papa numero dos. Thanks, Jordan, for the original. Oh yeah, this is even better than the original. Just kidding, Jordan. This is just different. It's really good. Try it out. Let me know what you think. Enjoy Brian's music tomorrow night, or watch some of his old ones tonight, and I'll see you on Friday. Adios.